My friend, listen closely because God says something powerful today. God just opened the gate. You've been walking, struggling, praying, hoping, and waiting. There were times you stood in front of locked doors, and it felt like the heavens were silent. But today, God declares the gate is open. The gate represents more than just a physical opening. It is a divine signal that something in your life has shifted. God's timing is unlike human timing. While we look at clocks and calendars, God moves by purpose, seasons, and preparation. When we talk about the gate being open, we are talking about breakthrough, transition, and answered prayer. We're talking about a moment that you've been praying for, fasting for, crying over, and waiting on. When God says the gate is open, He is saying that the season of delay has ended, and now begins the season of movement. You may have been in a place where it felt like every door was closed. No opportunity came. No help arrived. You knocked and got silence. You tried and kept failing. And in that season, you began to wonder if God had forgotten you or if He was even listening. But the reality is that God was not ignoring you. He was preparing you. Closed gates are often places of preparation. They are not rejection. They are refining. Just as a seed is buried in the darkness of the soil before it rises into light, you were hidden to be healed, molded, and matured. You were being built for what was ahead, not punished for what was behind. You see, if the gate opened too early, you wouldn't have been ready. If God allowed you to walk through certain doors before your heart was aligned with His purpose, you might have mishandled the blessing or misunderstood the assignment. That's why the waiting had to happen. It wasn't wasted, it was sacred, because in the waiting you developed patience. In the silence you learned to hear His whisper. In the stillness you discovered strength, and now that the gate is open, you realize it was not delay, it was divine timing. This moment, the open gate, is a confirmation that God has not only heard your cry, but has responded in power. He did not forget your prayer. He did not overlook your faith. He watched you walk through the fire and stay faithful. He saw you worship while weary. He saw you give while lacking. He saw you believe when everything around you told you to give up. And because of that, He has opened the gate. He is the one who makes a way in the wilderness and rivers in the desert. When He opens something, no man, no system, no demon in hell can shut it. The gate represents more than just the end of waiting. It represents the beginning of walking in what you were born for. When you see an open gate, it means that the season you've been preparing for is now active. It's not coming, it's here, but walking through it requires trust. It requires boldness because the scenery will change, the responsibilities will grow, the blessings will come, but so will new challenges. But the difference now is you're ready, not perfect, but prepared. You have been shaped in the silent seasons to be strong in this one. Sometimes, when a gate opens, we hesitate because of fear. We wonder, am I ready? Am I worthy? But let me tell you this, if God opened it, you're ready. If God opened it, He will walk through it with you. If God opened it, it means you are equipped with what you need for what's ahead. It doesn't mean it will be easy. It means it will be purposeful. And the grace that brought you to the gate will sustain you as you pass through it. The enemy will try to distract you at this gate. He will whisper that it's too soon. He'll try to make you look back and reminisce about the comfort of your old season. But don't be deceived. What's behind you is preparation. What's before you is destiny. You've outgrown the old level. You've graduated from that past trial. Now God has moved you into the next chapter, and the open gate is the turning of the page. Some of you have spent years in a spiritual wilderness, feeling stuck, unseen, unqualified. But this open gate is not a mistake. It is God's message to you. I haven't forgotten. I've been working while you were waiting. It's the evidence that your prayers were not in vain. Your obedience did not go unnoticed. Your tears were not wasted. Heaven has responded with favor, and the door that was locked is now wide open. This is the moment where you step into healing. This is the moment where you recover your voice. This is the moment where your purpose becomes clearer than your pain. The gate is open, and this is not just a personal invitation. It's a kingdom move. God opens gates not just to bless you, but to position you for others. You're about to be used in ways that bless those around you. The open gate is an entryway into greater impact, deeper faith, and wider influence. So don't be afraid of the open gate. Don't question why now. Just thank God that He trusted you enough to walk through it. It took faith to wait. Now it will take faith to move, but you are not walking alone. The same God who opened the gate is the God who will walk with you every step inside it. He is your guide. He is your source. He is your shield. The gate is not the end, it's the beginning. What you've been waiting for is now waiting for you. The promise you believed is now in reach. The gate is open. Now walk. When God opens a door, there is no force in heaven or on earth that can shut it. This truth echoes powerfully throughout Scripture and history, and it remains just as real today in your life. When God declares a gate open, it doesn't matter who doubted you, who turned against you, or what obstacles stand in your way. His authority overrides all. It silences the noise of your critics. It crushes the fear of failure. It tears down walls that seemed permanent. God's word is final, and when He speaks, creation responds. Mountains move, waters part. Gates swing open. You may have been facing situations where you were locked out. Locked from opportunity, healing, reconciliation, or clarity. People may have said, "It's over, it's too late, you missed your chance." But the moment God says it's time, everything changes. Doors that were shut for years suddenly open. Walls that confined you crumble. Pathways that didn't exist are formed. That's because God doesn't need human approval to bless you. He doesn't ask for permission to lift you. He doesn't consult your past to determine your future. When He moves, it is complete, intentional, and unstoppable. Many times we allow human voices to carry more weight than God's voice. We hear no from people and think it's final. We receive rejection from a job, a friend, a system, and we internalize it as our identity. But rejection from man is often redirection from God. Just because someone closed a door doesn't mean God won't open a better one. What is closed in the natural may be wide open in the supernatural, and once God opens it, no man can lock it again. In Revelation 3:7, it says, "What He opens, no one can shut, and what He shuts, no one can open." This isn't just a poetic phrase, it's a promise. It's your anchor in seasons where people, plans, and progress seem out of your hands. Because they are in His, and that's good news. You're not at the mercy of luck, chance, or even people's opinions. You are under the care of a sovereign God who holds the keys to every gate. When God opens the gate, He is putting His favor on public display. He is making a statement, "This is my child. I have chosen them. I have appointed this time." No devil in hell can stop that. No enemy can block what He has ordained. You may still feel unsure or unworthy, but remember, your confidence doesn't come from you. It comes from the one who opened the way. It's important to recognize that God's open gates are purposeful. He doesn't open them for vanity or comfort. He opens them to fulfill promises, to bring His children into destiny, and to expand His kingdom through your obedience. When He opens a gate, He is trusting you with something sacred. You become a vessel through which His will is accomplished. That's why you don't need to force it, manipulate it, or rush it. When the time is right, the gate opens, and your only job is to step through in faith. Yet, an open gate doesn't mean everything will be easy. The enemy will still try to intimidate, fear may whisper lies, you may still feel the sting of past failures, but none of that changes the truth. The gate is open, and if God opened it, He will sustain you through it. He doesn't just open gates, He walks through them with you. Too many people see the gate open but hesitate to walk through, and this brings us to another powerful reality. Faith must move. The open gate is an invitation, but it requires action. God has done His part by opening it. Now it's your turn to trust Him and step forward. Blessings often require boldness. You can't tiptoe into destiny. You walk in with trust. Standing in front of an open gate and doing nothing is still disobedience. It's fear disguised as waiting. It's comfort disguised as caution, and many never step into the fullness of what God has for them because they're too afraid to leave what's familiar. But familiar doesn't mean fruitful. The land of safety is often the land of stagnation. Growth happens when you walk through, even if your knees shake. Faith isn't always loud. Sometimes it's simply taking the next step. It's saying yes even when you don't see the whole plan. It's trusting that if God opened the gate, He's also prepared the path beyond it. Don't let fear rob you of what God has already prepared for you. The enemy's goal isn't to close the gate, it's to convince you not to walk through it. If he can't stop what God has opened, he'll try to stop you from entering. This is your time to move. You've prayed, you've waited, you've endured the silence, the wilderness, the wondering, and now the gate is open. What's on the other side may look unfamiliar, but it holds your breakthrough, your healing, your purpose. Don't let your past trap you in front of an open future. Don't let your comfort zone keep you in chains. God's favor is not behind you, it's before you. You're not walking through this gate alone. The same God who opened it is walking with you every step. His Spirit goes before you. His grace covers you. His strength upholds you. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to be willing to trust, willing to act, willing to believe that the same God who brought you to the gate will bring you through it. So don't wait for another sign. Don't look for someone else to validate your move. The gate is open. Heaven has said yes. Your next chapter has already been written. It's time to turn the page, walk through. The gate is open, but it won't mean anything unless you move. Faith is not just a belief. It is action. It is the courage to walk forward when the path is unfamiliar. It is the boldness to trust what you cannot see. An open gate is God's invitation, but your movement is your response. There are many people standing in front of opportunities, breakthroughs, and answered prayers, yet they remain frozen. They wait for more confirmation, more signs, more reassurance. But faith does not wait for guarantees. It believes what God has said, and it walks accordingly. When God opens the gate, He is saying, "I've done my part. Now trust me enough to step forward." This is where many people struggle, not because they doubt God, but because they doubt themselves. They look at their flaws, their past, their fears, and they wonder if they're really ready. But faith doesn't rely on feelings, it depends on trust. If God says you are ready, then you are ready. You might not feel confident, but you are called. You might not feel prepared, but you are chosen. The same God who opened the gate is the one who equipped you to walk through it. There are gates in life that lead to healing, restoration, purpose, and favor. But those gates are not automatic. They don't carry you through. You must walk. You must take the first step. Faith does not always come with full clarity. In fact, God often leaves just enough mystery to keep you close to Him. He doesn't always reveal the full plan because He wants you to follow His presence, not just His promises. The open gate is not just an invitation to destiny. It's a call to deeper dependence on Him. Consider how often people miss their moment because they hesitate. The Israelites stood at the edge of the promised land, but fear kept them wandering in the wilderness for 40 years. The gate was open, but they didn't walk through. They were intimidated by giants, even though God had already given them victory. How often does the same thing happen today? God opens a door, but fear whispers, "You're not ready." God clears the path, but doubt says, "What if you fail?" So people retreat. They delay, they forfeit what was already theirs. Faith does not silence fear, it walks through it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward anyway. God doesn't expect you to feel fearless. He expects you to be faithful. The moment the gate opens, you must remind yourself, "I didn't come this far to stop now. I didn't endure all that pain, that pruning, that waiting, only to turn back. This is the moment my faith was built for." Walking through the gate will cost you comfort. It may stretch you. It may place new responsibilities on your shoulders. It may expose your weaknesses, but it will also reveal your strength. It will grow your character. It will align your steps with God's purpose. Every step you take through that gate is a step into growth, into grace, into greater things than you imagined. But you must choose to walk. God honors movement. When Peter saw Jesus walking on water, he didn't understand how it was possible, but he stepped out of the boat anyway. That single step changed his life. Was he perfect? No. Did he sink? Yes. But he walked, and that walk marked him forever. Sometimes your faith walk will be messy. You might trip, you might stumble, but the difference between those who grow and those who stay stuck is simple: movement, forward motion, obedience in uncertainty. When the gate is open, don't expect everything to be easy. Expect it to be purposeful. There may be opposition on the other side, but opposition is not the same as a closed door. It's a sign that what you're walking into matters. If it wasn't significant, the enemy wouldn't resist it. So when you walk through and face pressure, don't retreat. Press in. Keep going. God never promised that walking through the gate would be easy. He promised He'd be with you. You have to trust that God's timing is not random. The gate didn't open by accident. It opened because God said, now. Now is the time for healing. Now is the time for promotion. Now is the time for ministry, for reconciliation, for stepping fully into your assignment. That now may not feel convenient. You may still feel unqualified, but God's now is never dependent on your comfort. It's activated by your faith. Many are called, but few respond. The gate is open to those who have the eyes to see and the courage to walk. You must stop rehearsing your past and start responding to your present. You're not who you were. You're not bound by the labels others gave you. When God opens the gate, He is saying, I'm giving you permission to move beyond where you've been. You don't have to stay stuck in yesterday. Walk into the new. This is not a time to be passive. It's a time to be bold. Don't just admire the gate. Don't just talk about the gate. Walk through it. The miracle is in the motion. As you move, God will meet you. As you walk, He will provide. As you step, the path will become clearer. This is how faith works. It moves first, then sees. So today, ask yourself, what gate has God opened in your life? What is He calling you to walk into? Stop overthinking. Stop guessing. The gate is open, and your name is being called. God is not just opening something for you. He is inviting you into something greater. The open gate is not just a symbol of breakthrough or answered prayer. It is a divine call. When God opens a gate, He's not only giving you access to blessing, He's commissioning you for purpose. Many people look at open doors as rewards, as if God simply wants to give us something good because we waited long enough. But there is far more depth to what an open gate means in the spiritual realm. It is a sign that you are being positioned, not just promoted. You are being assigned, not merely awarded. The open gate is the beginning of responsibility, impact, and destiny unfolding. God never opens a gate to lead you into comfort. He opens it to usher you into calling. Yes, there may be blessings on the other side. Financial provision, healing, opportunities, relationships. But they are not the end goal. They are tools for the mission. You are being entrusted with more than what benefits you personally. You are being called to stand in places where your presence, your faith, and your obedience make a difference in the lives of others. The open gate is God saying, I'm elevating you so I can extend my kingdom through you. Throughout the Bible, we see examples of open gates leading to divine assignments. When God parted the Red Sea for the Israelites, it wasn't just to get them out of Egypt. It was to bring them into the land He promised, a place where they would live as His people, walk in His laws, and influence the nations. When Nehemiah was given favor to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem, the king opening that opportunity was more than political. It was spiritual. Nehemiah didn't just step through an open door. He stepped into divine purpose that impacted an entire city. That same principle applies to your life. The gate God has opened for you is about something bigger than you. It might look like a new job, but it's really about the people you'll influence there. It might seem like a healing in your body, but it's actually about the testimony God wants to release through your life. It might be a platform, a relationship, or a breakthrough, but at the center of it is a call to represent God more boldly, more consistently, and more faithfully. This understanding shifts how we respond to open gates. We no longer approach them with selfish excitement, asking, "What can I get from this?" Instead, we walk through them asking, "What has God placed me here to do?" That is spiritual maturity. That is kingdom thinking. God doesn't open gates to make us popular. He opens gates to make us purposeful. He raises up people who are ready not just to be seen, but to serve, not just to succeed, but to steward. This calling requires humility and awareness. Some people enter new opportunities thinking it's all about them, about their elevation, their influence, their recognition. But pride is dangerous in the space God opens for you. The same God who opens gates can close them if we lose sight of who they were opened by and what they were opened for. That's why walking through the gate must be paired with gratitude, reverence, and a readiness to surrender your own agenda in favor of God's greater plan. The open gate also means new opposition. With greater purpose comes greater resistance. The enemy isn't intimidated by people who receive blessings. He is threatened by people who understand the assignment behind the blessing. That's why, on the other side of the gate, you must be spiritually vigilant. You will face new challenges. You'll be tempted to misuse your influence. You'll be tested in ways you weren't before. But every challenge is an opportunity to demonstrate faithfulness. God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. That means you may not feel ready for what lies beyond the gate. You might question your ability, your wisdom, or your strength, but God doesn't need your perfection. He needs your obedience. What He's looking for is not people who have it all figured out, but people who are willing to rely on Him every step of the way. If you walk humbly, seek His guidance, and remain anchored in His Word, you will thrive in the very place He's calling you to. The open gate is sacred. It's not a finish line. It's a beginning. It's the starting point of a new chapter, a new assignment, a new level of impact, and what God begins, He sustains. He doesn't open gates and leave you on your own. He walks with you. He strengthens you. He gives wisdom, peace, and provision as you move forward in His will. But you must keep your heart aligned with Him. You must remember daily why you're there and who sent you. This perspective also helps during moments when the journey through the gate becomes difficult, when the work gets hard, when people misunderstand you, when the pressure increases. You remember that you were placed there for a reason. You remember that your obedience is producing fruit even when you can't see it. You remember that every step you take in faith is advancing God's kingdom, touching lives, and fulfilling a plan that is far bigger than you can imagine. So if the gate is open, don't just celebrate. Listen, ask God what He's calling you to do in that space. Ask Him to show you the people He wants to reach through you, the lives He wants to impact, the areas where you're meant to serve. Don't waste the opportunity by treating it like a personal prize. Honor the gate by honoring the purpose it represents. You were made for more than survival. You were made for significance. You were not just saved from something, you were saved for something. And now the gate is open. The call is clear. Will you walk through not just with excitement, but with a deep sense of mission? Will you step into your purpose, not just with pride, but with humility, responsibility, and faith? This is your moment. The gate is open, not just for you to be blessed, but for you to be a blessing. Walk with purpose.